there. I'm Cece Schatz, and you're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. And we're trying something a little bit different here tonight. I'm going to do a show that's by myself. And normally we have some guests. If anyone wants to come on board and join us on the show, you're welcome to. You just have to join in on your camera and come into the lobby. And then we can go ahead and add you with us. It's like my phone and stuff is starting to ring now. I don't know what that is. But anyhow, what I wanted to share with you was that the topic of tonight's show is when someone stops loving you. And I'm like stuttering, so I guess I'm a little bit nervous because I'm usually interviewing. I have somebody with me, so it's kind of different. But when someone stops loving you, and if you guys don't know me, I'm Cece Schatz. I am the denier of divorce and relationships, transition in through to dating, and we really kind of work together in a local group that I have here in the Tampa Bay area. There's about 400 people or whatever. And then I think on the Going Solo divorce group here on Facebook, we've got like 600. So you guys are really coming on board, and I want to be able to reach out and help you to be able to get through some of the transition that you might be struggling with. So we're going to be doing these weekly shows every Tuesday night, if I can, at 8:30. So we're going to be trying to bring on some guests for you and do some things like that. But I want you to know that I am the owner of WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. Very proud of that. And I want you to know also is that it was the inspiration of you all, the listeners out there of the Going Solo Network show, the Going Solo with Cece. You know, you guys have inspired me to reach out and do things that I never, ever thought I could possibly do. And so the TV aspect of it is a little bit new for me. So as you can see, I get very nervous doing it, and you think that I would be all right with it, but I guess I will in time. So if you're listening, if you're on Chrome, Google Chrome, you can join this broadcast. All you have to do is just go into the Going Solo Network divorce page, the Going Solo divorce group, and just go through there and click in, and hopefully the lobby will click you in. But we've been having some trouble with it, so if you can't make it, that's what the problem is. But let's move on with our topic, when someone stops loving you. And the reason I wanted to talk to you about this tonight is because, number one, I heard this terrific song on the radio with regards to it. Little Big Town does it, when someone stops loving you. And when I listened to the words in the song, it hit me because it brought me back to when I was at such a loss, you know, in my relationship, and how difficult it was for me because I felt that way. I felt like all of a sudden someone just stopped loving me, and how could they possibly do that and move on with their lives? And here I am. I'm still in the same place. And so this is why I thought, you know, let's talk about this, because I'm sure that I am not the only person that feels like that. So, you know, when you are in the muck of that, you know, and I want to say muck of that is because that too shall pass. And everything that you are experiencing from today and from before, it just evolves. You will evolve as you continue on with your divorce or with your relationship loss, and you will grow from it. And so I want you to know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So it's never doom and gloom, these shows, and I don't want them to be like that. I want them to be an inspiration for you. So I did a lot of research on it, when someone stops loving you, and some of the things that it says was to give yourself some space. And I think that is so important because so often we are in the turmoil of what's happening to us. We are trying to figure it out. We're trying to do all the things that we need to do at that particular time, and we're constantly beating ourselves up about it. And so what I would suggest is just step back from the situation a little bit. Give yourself some space. Allow yourself time to be able to organize your thoughts, organize your feelings, you know, organize how you're feeling, and be able to, you know, grasp on where you're at. And you can't do that if you're in a busy environment and it hurts. This is going to be probably a very painful step for you, is to stop for a minute and really look at yourself and where you're at and be quiet with yourself to be able to understand some of those things. So I would say really give yourself some space. And this article that I had read, which would kind of inspired me to do the show too. It says changing your eating and your sleeping habits is one thing. When you're going through a divorce, I think I went 3 years with hardly any sleep because I was just couldn't figure out how I was going to manage and how I was going to live my life so different than what I'm used to. And the feeling of hopelessness and helplessness was there. And so I want you to know that, as you're starting to grasp on giving yourself some time and some space, it's okay to feel these things. It's okay to feel how you're feeling. And you should be able to know that and understand that. Change your mood. And the reason you can do this and how you can do this is change yourself up a little bit. Switch yourself up. Do something a little bit different. Get out of the box and do something you've never experienced before. Possibly I suggest to everyone, if you can and you feel like going and doing some things, go to meetup.com. They have tons of different activities that you can do. And it doesn't have to be dating activities because you're not ready yet to date if you're going through divorce and you're feeling like this, that like someone stopped loving you, and the pain and the agony of that is so strong. The last thing you want to do is be into another relationship, because the thing is, you don't want to do that to somebody else. You don't want them to feel how you're feeling right now. So give yourself some time and give yourself a break, but get out and do some fun things, some enjoyable things that maybe you had on your bucket list, or maybe it's something that you hadn't done in a long time. You can experience some of those things, and really try to change your thoughts a little bit, because sometimes it's our own thoughts that are hurting us, that makes us down into the sorrow, into the sorrow of that. And allow yourself some time to grieve, because this is a loss to you. And when someone stops loving you, it's just your whole world is upside down. So you have to allow yourself to be able to grieve a little bit of that loss. And as you're trying to do all the other things, possibly move or pack up and get an attorney and do all of those things that you have to do, you have to be able to allow yourself some time to be able to get through this. And it is very, very difficult. And many people have asked me, what about the time length? When will I start feeling better? And the reality is there's no time period on it. It doesn't matter how long you've been married. Doesn't matter how short of time you've been in a relationship. You don't even have to be married. You could just be loving someone and something happened, maybe a death, maybe divorce, something different happens. But something I wanted to share with you, and I was talking with Kit about this, because Kit and I do the other show, the boy and girl thing, and we were talking a great deal, and we've had many conversations about how people come into our lives and how they changed us and they shape our lives. And so sometimes I wonder if people, or maybe our partners, have come into our lives for a period of time that's trying to show us something, or we're supposed to learn something from that. And so I think in those quiet times when you're thinking about it and you're trying to realize and understand how difficult it is for you, those quiet times are when you're going to start getting the answers of what it is for you. And I do feel that we can love people in many different ways and many different degrees. And so whatever you're feeling right now, and some of it you might be even hate because you're just so mad at the world, but however you're feeling now, that's going to shift as you begin to shift. And so understand that if you feel like someone just totally stopped loving you, maybe they didn't stop loving you. Maybe they just decided they wanted something different. And if that's the case, that's what you have to realize. Why that could have been possible. Why would they want to do that? And did you play a part in that? And so I think those are very important questions that we have to ask ourselves as we're moving through this challenge of our lives. And so I realize now myself that I learned a great deal from my past relationships. And I feel that I'm actually a better person, even though when I was going through the divorce, I was so sad and I was so depressed and I was going through all those things that we normally go through, the grieving process, the anger, the denial, all of those things that we go through. Then at the end of it, I started realizing that, you know what? My ex had a choice. He had a choice to be with me if he wanted to be with me. He had a choice to leave me if he wanted to leave me. And now I'll be straight up. I am the one that moved out of our home. However, our marriage had ended for quite some time. My ex had moved away from me for quite some time, and he had moved on with his life. He started creating a life for himself. And that's when our marriage started to go bad. So it wasn't necessarily, or goes, I don't know if you even say bad, because we actually did have a very good marriage at times. It was just towards the end where you're breaking up that I started to realize, oh my gosh, things are so different, and why are they so different? And those are the questions I started asking myself. So the more I asked myself, the more I realized I played a part in that. And it wasn't a bad part. It wasn't blaming myself. It was actually a learning experience for me. So another topic on this was to blame yourself. How can we blame ourselves if we didn't make the choice of it? If our partners decided they wanted something different, why are we blaming ourselves? The only thing we can take away from it is that what part did we play in it? And so the more and more that you ask those deep and those questions for yourself, and it's not a blaming, it's an understanding. The more you come to terms and the more you understand what part you played in the demise of your relationship, the more you'll understand what you need as a person to be able to move forward into the next journey of your life. And you all of you out there will probably have partners, new partners come into your life. You'll have people that are very meaningful to you. You'll have people for short periods of time, longer periods of time. And maybe, hopefully, you'll all end out with someone wonderful in your life. You'll end up with someone that's going to be nurturing and loving and all the things that you want in your life. But you're not going to know that unless you take the time to do the homework on yourself. And I know you guys have heard that before. You've heard it time and time again. And I know I've said it, and I know many people have said it here. The other thing is to express your feelings. So often we keep our feelings so buried deep inside, and we pretend everything is okay. I'm the biggest person for this. I'm always saying everything is fine, everything is fine. But then in those deep, dark moments that I have with myself, I realize things aren't okay. And so sometimes I think we have to express that. We have to be able to share that with other people. We have to cry and let it out. And guys, I know that you all have been raised to, gut it up and be strong, but you don't have to be. You can let the tender side of you out, and you can show that, and it's okay to do that. And so, I want you to know that expressing yourself is very vital for you to be able to better understand yourself as you go forward. So let's see, realizing that you're better off. How about that? Do you think we could possibly be better off? I know I can. My life has been just so unbelievable. I cannot believe it. And I mean, I look at my life now, even though I still have ups and downs, I still have fears, I still have some of these things that we experience, but I am loving it. I am loving the new experiences in life. I am touched by those that are around me. I am given a wealth of information and support from strangers, people that I don't even know. I have embarked on a new career that lights my light up and just keeps me going. I mean, I can work all night long and not even realize that the time has gone by because I love so much what I do. And I'm so inspired by you all because you all have nurtured and been forgiving and loving as I've gone on. So there again, I think that we can get love and we can feel that good feeling of love, and we can get it in different ways, can't we? I get it from my friends. I get it from my family. I get it from you all. I'm very, very fortunate. And I know that I talk a lot about myself because I want you to know that the reason I do that is because you guys can feel the same thing. Everything you guys are going through, I have gone through tenfold. I have done it. I have experienced it. I've lived through it, and the pain of it has been tremendous. And I know that your journeys are very different and they're very special to you, but our path that we travel is so similar. We are really like-minded in our experiences of what we're going through. And I do apologize because my phone is going crazy in there and I don't know who's trying to reach me, but they should be listening to this show. And did you guys listen to Rosalind Sadaka and Amy Sherman? They had a show just prior to this one, and it was outstanding. So their shows are on at 8 o'clock on Tuesdays, and then this show here is on live 8:30, and then I will be back on at 9 on WGSN-DB. Going Solo Network. So I want you to know that too. We talked about the blame game already, so we're not going to be pointing fingers. We're not going to be saying it's their fault. Because at the end of the day, the relationship that we have it both. We only take ownership of what is ours. We cannot take ownership of somebody else's feelings or whatever, somebody else's actions. We have a choice to live our life the way we want to live it. And so if we want to be sad and lonely and unhappy, doggone it, we can be that way. Do you want to be that way? I don't think so. So we do not want to put the blame on anyone else. We don't want to put the blame on us. What we want to do is just experience life for the way it is and start to understand it. And I think that is what is so very, very important. This one said, avoid getting drunk. I love that one. And calling and texting the other party. That's definitely a no-no. We don't want to do that. And there's more reasons for that than just the normal things that you would come to think about. The other thing is that when you're doing something like that, you're down so low, that it's not going to be of service to you. So if you allow yourself, and I've been there, I've done the same thing, and I don't think I texted him, but I was so low and so pitiful that it didn't service me. It didn't help me. It didn't help my growth at all. What it did is it hindered me. And so if you're doing that, if you're drinking and you're trying to bury your head in the sand and move forward in that way, you're not. All you're doing is you're standing still and you're hurting yourself because you're not solving any problem at all other than creating another one. Because let me tell you something, alcohol, drugs, or anything like that, it can get you and it can take you, and you don't want that to happen. So you definitely want to be able to move forward in a clearer fashion, feel the pain if you've got to feel it, experience it if you need to experience it, but do not, and I really go with this, do not let the alcohol take over you. The distraction, we talked about that, about joining maybe something that was fun, doing something that's interesting. Working out is always a really good thing, focusing on that. Make a list of good things about yourself. That was a hard thing for me to do because when I left my marriage, when my marriage became over, I didn't think there was anything good about me because I had been listening to that voice that was coming across the other side of the door or the wall or whatever it was, all the negative things that were ever said to me. I started to believe all of those things about myself. And so that was really difficult for me. So one of my friends, in the divorce support group, she said, make a list of what you think, is your asset. And I had to really think hard about that. I mean, other people. So then I said to myself, okay, I can't make this list. I'm really struggling with what is good about me. What could possibly be good about me? So I had another friend make a list for me. So, okay, make a list of what you think is, good about me. So if you're stuck and you feel like, oh gosh, I really can't even think of anything that could possibly be good, have somebody else make a list for you. And you'll be surprised. I was surprised to see some of the things that they said about me. I was just like, whoa, really? You think that way about me? So here I am living, thinking that no one loves me, no one cares about me. And then I realized all these wonderful aspects that other people really do think about me. So it's like your head is just in the sand and you just don't realize what it is. And sometimes I think we have to break out of the box. We have to really move forward and be able to be inspired. And so allow other people to inspire you if you feel like you're a little bit stuck, because I think that's very, very important. It's just, life is really, really hard, and it's amazing out there when you're letting, some of the memories. I wanted to talk about this because we talk about this a lot on the I know I'm kind of moving around, skipping around a little bit, but when we talk about memories and triggers of those memories, and so I would listen to all these sad songs, but it's something that I had to do because I was just kind of down into that groove of things. And so what I found is that I had to start being more inspired. And what I was realizing is that things that were happening around me was triggering some memories for me. So what I needed to do was I needed to make new memories. I needed to start creating a life for myself and start creating new memories for myself. So, I started these shows, doing all this kind of stuff, creating all this really wild stuff, which no one ever thought I would ever do, except for the psychics. When I went to see a psychic, they would say, "Oh, you're going to be doing this, you're going to be doing that." And I'm thinking, yeah, sure, okay. But the thing is that once I started creating my own memories, I started creating a life for myself. I started adapting new holidays. I started adapting different traditions. I have Don't Be Alone for Thanksgiving, and I have people over every Thanksgiving. My family thinks I'm crazy. They're going like, "Well, how come you don't have Thanksgiving with us anymore?" Because I have Thanksgiving for people that don't have anybody. That's the one time in their lives when they're so very sad. And so I have Thanksgiving, and we all get together. Everybody brings something. Everybody works at it. We all do it together. It's like one big family. And so my family has kind of gotten used to it. And the ones that don't, they don't come. So that's the way it is. I have Thanksgiving with them another time. But it's creating different memories for yourself, creating new and enjoyable, inspirational stuff. I mean, just stuff, just going out and doing new things that you've never done before. I remember my sister and her husband, we went out. I went with someone else, and we went out, on like a rowboat type of thing. I don't know what you call them, kayaks. So we went on a kayak, and we did that. And I'm not a real outdoorsy kind of girl, but I'll try anything once. And so we did that. I had a blast. And so just do something a little bit different that you've never done before. But what happens is it creates new memories for you. And so if you think that you have something that's coming up, let's say a holiday or a birthday or something that was very, like, even summers, summer vacations. And I have a good girlfriend, Barbara. I read about her stuff, and she goes out and she's doing all these different holidays. She's going on different vacations and things because she's creating new memories for herself. Good for you, Barbara. Good for you for getting out there and doing something different. Now, were they easy? No. Were some of the trips that she went on a little bit lonely? I think so. But you know what? She did it, and she did the first step. And then what will happen is the next step will come, and it will get easier and easier and easier. So that's just kind of the way it works. Your strength and support in networks. I totally agree with that, because we wouldn't be here today if I didn't believe in a network. Our divorce support group is tremendous. It's evolved over the years. I've been in the group. I didn't start the group. Katie started the group, bless her heart. And she's changed the lives of many, many people. She decided she no longer wanted to do it. Carla stepped up. Carla and I did it for a little bit. Carla met some wonderful man. She decided she didn't want to do it anymore, so I took over. And I've been doing it for quite some time. And I love it. I love doing it. So our group is a little bit different. I'm not a therapist. I'm a mentor. and we talk and we share experiences, and I hope that I'm an inspiration. I hope that people feel that and they be able to get that. But we've had the group going for quite some time. We have a pay it forward. So I'm not the one that's totally running the group. The group runs the group. So it's a very unique experience. You can join us. It's on meetup.com. We are in the Tampa Bay area. You live somewhere else, I don't care. Join the Tampa Bay area one. We connect online. We connect different ways. Oh, Eric, hey, I couldn't get the audio on Facebook or my laptop. Hopefully next time I'll figure it out. Well, bless your heart. Thank you very much, Eric, for trying to join us. You know, I want to tell you something. This site, Be Live TV, is fantastic, but there are some glitches in it, and they're trying to work it out. We're hoping that we can use this as a TV type of venue and still have our live streaming radio station on it's www.goingsolonetwork.com. So we're hoping that we will have that. We talked about switching up your routine, do something a little bit different, something you've never done before. Try to avoid kind of the same things, because I think what happens is that brings up memories. The routine, sometimes the routine is, it's hard to break. And so I think that we have to make changes in our lives. And so that definitely is in there. Push yourself outside of your comfort zone. God only knows. I have done that so many times. And I am so glad that I did. I'll share with you, when I first started doing Going Solo with Cece, it was Going Solo After Dark, and I was doing it on Life Improvement Radio. And bless their heart, Life Improvement Radio is still out there, and they're a great venue for people. But I will tell you, Eric, he is absolutely a fantastic guy. And the first time I did my show, I had one of the ladies was doing the board, because I didn't know how to do it. And so I was just rambling on like I do now, like I always do. And I thought I was going to pass out. I mean, I really did. And so we took a break, and she said to me, "Are you all right? Are you going to pass out?" But I was totally out of my element. I was totally out of the box. And I mean, I was like really out of it. But the thing is that I realized that, these are my gifts. These shows that I do, the people that I bring on are my gifts to you. And so thank goodness that none of you out there are critical. None of you out there are looking for the fluff. I mean, I've had shows where the lights were knocked down and I was talking in the dark, but none of you care. And you don't care because all you care about is the information and being able to connect. And that is what's so vital. So I ask you to think out of the box for you. Do something that will connect you and inspire you and make you move to the next level in your life. And it doesn't have to be anything big. It can be something so minute. It could be simple as, going out and taking a cooking lesson, doing something totally different. It could be, maybe learning a hobby, something you haven't done before. It can be learning another trade. It could be 1,000,001 things, but do something that you never thought you could do but wanted to do. And I think that is what would be the inspiration for you. It's just so amazing when you do something that you just don't realize it. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about moving on, and I know our time's coming up here a little bit, but I'll close it out on moving on. And I think that it's very important for you to know that everything in life, especially going through a divorce, relationship building, just trying to build a relationship with yourself, it's like a roller coaster ride. It's up and down. You move two steps forward, 3 steps back. And that's just kind of the way it was. But every moment that you work on it, every movement of choice that you make to move forward is going to benefit your life. And so it's going to inspire you to be able to move forward. And so help others do the same thing. And so sometimes when you reach out and you do something for someone else, donate or give your time to someone else, do something for charity. When you step out of yourself a little bit and you step out of your box and you do something totally different, your world changes. And so I want to close the show with telling you that you might think that someone stopped loving you, But I think today, and as you move forward, the most important person that's going to love you is yourself. And so the more you can get to know who you are, what makes you tick, what motivates you, what makes you move forward, that is what's going to attract goodness, wonderful people into your life. And so, no, I don't think that people stop loving us. I think they move on with their lives and they do other things. And I think they will never forget us. That's for sure. Well, this is Cece with Going Solo. I hope you will join me on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network and also on these Be Live TV shows that we're going to do. We're going to have some fantastic guests that are going to be able to help move you forward. I'm going to try to do these from time to time because I think they do help you. And I want you to know that I'm just like you. And so every step that I take, you can come right along with me and we can take them together. So anyhow, going to sign off for now. Bye. And I hope this helped you a little bit. So just remember, somebody loves you, and that's me. Bye for now.